Hey everyone, this is Fernanda from Brazilian thrash metal band Nervosa, and you're watching Impact Channel.
Fernanda from Nervosa. Is it tour with Venom and Suffocation?
I'm doing great. We're almost in the end now, unfortunately. I think now we got like 5-6 shows. And it's been great, you know, it's like touring with friends. I've known some of the Suffocation guys for like 9 years or something.
Wow.
And Tony Dolan from Venom is like a dad for me. So it's like literally touring with friends. It's been great so far, really. We're so happy, and I'm so happy to be back here in Budapest.
How was the last show here with Destruction?
It was awesome.
It was Destruction?
Really, yeah, we played with Destruction in here. I don't remember the name of the club. It was something 4. I don't remember, but it was a huge place also. But then we came back here last year also in the summer. In the summer we played in the summer, but I don't remember the name of the venue. But it was pretty nice. It's every time it's nice. Like people are passionate, energetic. It's nice.
Do you have a funny tour story to share with us?
From this tour?
Any tour.
Wow, I've got many stupid stories. I don't know. Now I have a blank on my mind. But every tour, like there's something, you know. Like whenever you're touring, shit happens, and then sometimes by the time it happened, it's like fuck. But then after it happens, it gets funny. On the Destruction tour, like me and the girls, we always carry around like the worst instrument cases ever. No, it's too hard to get it in Brazil because it's very expensive. Oh, he brought me this one. And then like on the last tour we did, they taped our stuff, like worst case in the world and everything like that. Every time we were loading out, they'd be like, okay, give me one of those shit cases. But I agree, it was literally shit cases. And also, we got another story-related equipment that every night we were carrying, like, you know, like equipment in and out. And then there was like a cymbal case, a cymbal bag, like full of cymbals. It was like 20-something cymbals, and it was super heavy. And we were carrying like in and out the venues, and we were like, "Who the fuck is this?" You know, like whose cymbals are those? And then everyone was like, "It's Luana's." No, it's not Luana's. It's from Destruction's drummer. No, it's not. Well, maybe from the other band. And it was no one's. And then, but we were for like 10 days carrying this around, and then we were like, "Okay, so it's from none of us." And then we found out we brought it from Sweden. Like we flew from Sweden to whatever with like this 20 cymbals that were not ours, and we were carrying this in and out every day. We were like, what the fuck? Then we needed to return. It was someone else's case. It was fucked up. Well, there's another story from on the summer. We had some days off exactly when Metal Days was happening. And then we decided to go there just to have fun. I mean, we were not gonna play the festival. We were like, we got passes and everything. Then we went there, and then, like, I had a friend, like, there was a guy, he had like a huge duck, you know, like a pool floating duck. And then I was like, can I use it, please? He was like, oh, you know, it's my duck. And he was like, are you from Nervosa? I was like, yeah. And it was like, yeah, maybe it was like, okay, where are you from? Barcelona. I was like, I put your name on the list, you lend me the duck. It was like, deal. And then we got the duck, me and my friend, and we were in the river. And then we were like swimming, and then I don't know what, she was driving it. I don't know what the fuck she did, but we fell in it and we couldn't touch the ground. So we were drowning and we couldn't let the duck go because it was not ours. So we were like, and then no one was trying to help us because like they thought, no, you're gonna drown us too. And we were like, help. And then there was like this huge boat with some German guys on it, and then like they helped us in. It was like we were literally drowning, and then they helped us in the boat. And then like I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. And the guys were all like this, no, it's alright, it's alright. I was like, no, really, thank you. It was like, no, it's alright. When I noticed with the water and everything and me climbing up, I had my tits showing off. That's why they were shy. They were like, and I was like, oh my god! I didn't even notice. It was just, I love this story. This is one of my favorite ones. There's many stupid stories like this.
Your last album, Agony, came out in 2016. Are you working on a new material now?
Yeah, we just recorded a new album in January and February. It's gonna be out in June.
Cool.
Yeah, so whenever, by the time we're back in Europe in the summer, we're already gonna have a new album. And I can't wait for you guys to listen to it because it's really cool. Our label loved it, we loved it. I think it's a way more mature album, you know, like songs are more mature, faster, more aggressive. We have Luana recording the drums now, and she plays death metal, so she brought a little bit more of aggressiveness to it, and I think it sounds great. We recorded in Brazil with, like, on the last tours we did in Europe with Destruction and without Destruction. We had a sound guy called Martin Furia. He's Argentinian, but he lives in Belgium. And he's worked with some other bands, like he worked with Destruction and Flotsam and Jetsam live, Evil Invaders too. And we decided to invite him to record the album because he's very good at it, and he's a very patient, easygoing guy. So it was really nice. He was traveling to Argentina, and we were like, come on, just come to Brazil, we'll pay for the ticket, and that's it.
Okay.
It's really nice.
About Napalm Records, are you happy with the guys so far?
Definitely. I think they're the best we could have. Like, they are, since day one, they showed the same excitement as we have with our work, you know? Like, they trust our music as much as we do. And I think in this kind of partnership, this is just, like, essential. So they're very supportive. They are really flexible. They understand us. We understand them. We have a very nice relationship. Like, they are the best we could have so far. Like, we're really happy with them.
Yeah.
Really.
They seem to be really passionate about music for sure.
Yeah, I am. Every time I get on stage, you can see that. I'm like, oh.
There was a thrash metal renaissance, started more or less in the late 90s, you know, with thrash bands like The Haunted. Also, some of the early bands released some good records like Testament and many others. But it seemed that the thrash metal breakout just never happened, never really happened.
Really? Do you think? Oh my god.
It didn't go as big as, for example, the black metal or any other kinds of music,
well,
in my humble opinion. What do you think
I
about
say
it?
it different. I don't think genres in metal should compete or whatever, but I think thrash metal's got pretty big, you know, like, see Big Four, like, for example, that's an example of being big. I mean, it's not all my favorite thrash bands are there, but if we're talking about being big, that's huge, I guess, you know. And well, I think they were huge in the 80s. Then we had, in the 2000s now, we had like such a boom of thrash metal bands like Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust and bands like that. And they were huge, and they still are huge. So I don't think, I agree. I think it's not, I think it's not, it didn't have like this, like, highlight just like some other bigger genres in metal, like, for example, symphonic metal with like the girls singing, and melodic metal, but I think it's pretty big. I mean, more than other genres, I would say.
As we all know, you're from Brazil. What are the Brazilian values that you're most proud of?
Well, the thing I appreciate the most, of course, like, every people in the world, they got their problems there and their bad aspects, and Brazilian people, we have lots of bad aspects, but still what I miss the most from Brazil is always the people, because I think the most beautiful thing about us is that, like, we suffer a lot, you know, like, it's hard to make a living in Brazil. Like, every day is a different reality crushing you. Like, it's really hard. Like, we suffer a lot. It's just, everything's so difficult, but still we always have a smile on our faces. Whenever you meet a Brazilian, it's gonna be that warm person, happy about life, and, you know, like, glad to meet you and to host you or whatever. We're very happy and warm people. Even like sometimes we think like, oh my God, I've got a bad humor, but still we're like way more cheerful than a lot of people that I know. So that's what I miss the most. Brazilian people are warm and very passionate on whatever they do and about the way they feel. And I love that, and I miss that. I think like I'm proud of that, you know, like because we suffer so much, we could have like everything to be like the most depressed country in the world, but not. We're really just happy and glad and thankful for living, and I think that's the best value coming from Brazil.
Actually, Andres Gisser told me the same a few weeks ago.
And you know what? After you start touring a lot, that's when you appreciate even more. Like when I didn't, like I've always been in bands, but like when I didn't have the chance to travel around, I was always like, oh my God, I want to move from Brazil. I hate Brazil. I hate the people. I hate everything. I always had this feeling like I couldn't wait to grow so I could move. And now I travel a lot. The only thing I miss is like being back at home. Like whenever I step in Brazil, I'm like, oh my God, I love this country and love its people and I love its food. And but yeah, whenever you start traveling, you notice how cool it is. Like it's, of course, all countries are nice, all people are nice. Like, new cultures, it's always nice to get to know them. But then you start appreciating more, like your people and your roots. It happens. I thought it would never happen, but it happens.
And as a travel musician, what do you think what the Brazilians can learn from other cultures?
There's something I can definitely say, which is like here in Europe and some other places we traveled to, it's very clean, and in Brazil it's not clean at all. People don't respect their environment in Brazil. That's one of our biggest problems. Like we don't respect our environment very much. Of course, that's a result also from the government that is corrupt and will never invest in education, so people are uneducated, so they don't understand the value of nature and environment. And so yeah, like you see a lot, and I get pissed with that, like people throwing trash all around, like in Brazil, like at the beaches, like we see every year, like I went to the beach, like it's like paradise in near Rio de Janeiro, and I saw dead turtle because she died from like eating plastic and stuff like that. And the beach was paradise, but it was full of trash. And that's I think the biggest problem from Brazilian people, which makes me upset, that we just don't respect nature, we just don't respect our environment. Like people just throw trash all around and they don't actually care about it. They think it's okay. They think like, well, there's people that the city hall pays for cleaning the city, so I'll just throw it on the street. That's fucked up. And this I think we could learn from other cultures, because I've seen like some clean place here in Europe. Like most of the places are super clean, and people, you know, like have respect for their environment, and that's the biggest flaw from Brazil, I think, in my opinion. Yeah.
Back to music. If you had a chance to start a new project or a new band, what kind of music would you like to play?
If I had time, I would definitely have like a soul, blues, funk band. Cool. Definitely. But I would only sing. I don't want to play bass on it, although I like playing funk. Just like I have many idols, like divas, like my personal divas that teach me a lot about singing and everything. Like Etta James and Amy Winehouse and Dinah Washington and Nina Simone and Aretha Franklin and all these women. So I would love to have like a band where I could write and sing like that. Also because like in thrash metal, I don't feel comfortable about writing anything that's not protest and stuff like that. And I am such a sensitive person. I feel so much, and I would love to write music about feelings and everything and sing them. But one day I'll have one. You'll see.
Who's on your bucket list to work with?
Yeah, I don't think it would be like anyone from any bands I know. It would be like people into this style, like blues musicians and funk, like metal players and stuff like that.
If you could pick the bands for a Nervosa tribute album, who would you like to hear to cover your song?
All the bands that influenced me, like Sepultura, Nuclear Assault, DRI, Slayer. That would be awesome. And Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I would love to see Beyonce singing one of my songs.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Intolerance means war.
Talking about Slayer, I saw you have a Slayer tattoo.
I do.
How did you react when you heard about the farewell tour?
That was pretty sad, but you know what? I kind of expect. We can expect from every band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys are all like over 50 years old, and they toured like for their whole lives, and touring is brutal. Mm-hmm. And so I would definitely expect that. You know, like our bodies change, and yeah, I was very, very sad. Very sad, because deep down I always wish I had the chance like to tour with them, and now I know it's not gonna happen. But yeah, I kind of expect it. You know, it's gonna happen with all of us at some point.
And what do you think? How would this affect not only the retirement of Slayer but other bands, the metal scene? Because more bands retire nowadays, and some of them just basically died out.
Yeah, I think. Like, we just gotta accept the fact that this is gonna happen. This was gonna happen at some point, and we have to stop putting the responsibility on like the new bands. Like, oh my God, do you think there's gonna be like a new Black Sabbath? Of course not. There's never gonna be another Black Sabbath or another Motorhead or another Judas Priest or another Iron Maiden or another Sepultura, because these bands, like, they created styles. Like, they created genres, they created something, and I don't think there's ever gonna be bands like that, and it's okay, you know. Like, there's not another Muddy Waters, for example, but still blues still exists, you know, and his music still exists. People listen to it. I listen to it a lot. That's it, you know. Like, we don't have to put this responsibility on new bands. We just have to accept the fact that it happened. They created something. Let's just do our best to respect what they created and perpetrate that.
I agree.
That's what I think we should do.
What was the first album you ever bought?
First album I ever bought was Blizzard of Oz. Yeah, Blizzard of Oz, along with Keeper of the Seven Keys 2 from Halloween. These were the two first albums I bought. And I love them so much. I knew them before buying them, because my dad is a metalhead, so I had access to everything. But I remember these two were the first ones I bought. The first ones I got were different. Like, when I was 7, I think the first album I got was Love Gun from my uncle. It was like 7, 8, and I loved it. Yeah, but the first ones and then after these two, Blizzard of Oz and Keeper of the Seven Keys, I remember buying Branded and Exiled from Running Wild, like super random. I love Running Wild, but like totally different from the two first ones.
You have a good memory then?
Yeah, it's because it was very special to me. I told you I feel a lot. I'm a very sensitive person.
And what were you like as a kid?
Grumpy. I was really grumpy because I'm a typical Virgo. I'm a Virgo. And I'm a typical Virgo, like very organized, perfectionist and everything. Nowadays, like, it's better, but when I was a child, I was very perfectionist. So I liked my stuff to be there, and you know, like, I didn't like other people messing up with it, and you know, like, I was really grumpy. But I also have always been like a good friend. Like, I've always had, since when I was a child to when I was a teenager until now, I've always been like surrounded by friends. I love to keep like friends around. Like, whenever you were in my house, there were always like 5-10 people, and we were like, I just always like it to gather people. Like, when I was a child, we danced a lot in Brazil, like samba and stuff. And then when I was a child, I had a dance group with my like best friends, and we would dance like every weekend and everything. I was just a little bit grumpy, but I was like also like a loyal friend. These were both of my qualities. Yeah.
Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
Yes, definitely. It was Iron Maiden in 2004. in a stadium there, like a city stadium, and it was fucking awesome. It was. I remember the date, January 17th, because it was very special to me, and I was with my mom and my dad. They both love Iron Maiden, so it was very, very special to me. And the second one was Dio on the same year in August. It was awesome. Good times.
What was the first show as a musician?
Well, oh, I think it was in a city by the beach near my hometown, and it was like it was with my first band, and we had like one of the members had she was doing like a English course, and then she needed to do a presentation, and her presentation was actually us presenting, so it was really nice. That was the first time I ever got on stage.
What was the first instrument, your first instrument?
It was a guitar, but like acoustic guitar, but I didn't actually play it. I started playing it already like bass, because my dad is a bassist, he's a bass player, so I would watch him like doing this, and then I took it and I would do this, and me and my dad would take turns. Like sometimes like he was doing some grooves on the guitar, and we had a leather couch, and then he had drumsticks, and then I would play drums in the leather couch, and he would play like stuff that was easy to play, like dant, 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 and I'd be dant, bat, bat on the leather couch, and sometimes we switched. Then I would do this, like I would learn from him. Then I would do this, and he would be in the couch doing this. It was but it was always about bass. Like I started with acoustic guitar, but I don't even know how to. I have to play it. I don't even know how to hold a pick or whatever. It was always been about bass.
What was the first song you ever learned?
It was probably, I don't remember, but I think it was or Iron Man, stuff like that. Paranoid. No, Paranoid was too difficult because there was the It was Iron Man and Heaven's on Fire from Kiss, because it was so easy. And then shout it out loud to really nice. Very nostalgic interview, that's nice.
What are your 5 favorite albums of all time?
Metal albums?
Any kind of music.
Okay, I'll say metal albums. Okay, I won't say the best, but I will say the most important to me. Power Slave by Iron Maiden, because Iron Maiden is Iron Maiden. it's my favorite band ever, and Stevie Harris taught me how to play, so. Then, Kiss, probably Destroyer, because it was one of the first albums I really loved. And then Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, because that album changed my life, and Sepultura is very important to me, not only because the music they play, that's awesome, but also the message they bring to all Brazil, every Brazilian metalhead who's in a band. It's like the message is like, you can be South American and all fucked up, and you can have a thrash metal band and you can succeed. This is really important. And so Sepultura needed to be there. Nuclear Assault, Game Over the Plague, because Nuclear Assault was the band that made me want to have a thrash metal band. And Death, Individual Thought Patterns, because it's like one of the best albums ever, and because like it also like changed my life. I was like, oh my god, how can you create music like this? And also Chuck is my #1 influence on vocals, so that would be my top 5 albums.
Have you seen DTA?
Yes, I have once, and Steve DiGiorgio, I fucking love him. He's one of my favorite bassists ever.
Mine too. What's the meaning of life?
I think the main meaning of life is just be happy. That's all. Whenever you're happy, and it's hard being like really happy in here, but if you can do that sometimes, like you will have strength to deal with like whatever. If you have like positive thinking, and if you're willing to be happy, life will be way easier. That's the thing. That's what I try to do. It's not every day. Sometimes we got some bad days, but being happy is my main focus, and I think it should be the main focus of everyone.
Any last words to your fans?
Thank you for watching this. Thank you for the interview and for the wine.
Anytime.
And just keep on supporting metal. Keep on supporting, you know, like your metal, your local scene, all the bands, because we are the sole responsibles to keep like the metal flag alive and kicking, you know. So let's just do it.
Obrigado.
Obrigada.